Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha. So now I shall explain the bones of the hand. So in our hand and our palmar surface, we have many tiny bones, carpals and metacarpals. So we're going to explain the anatomy of these different bones, and their astrological significance is a very important and very significant chart. Where I shall explain the astrological significance of why palmistry is such a wonderful and perfect subject in predicting for a person. Here is the hand, and let us focus on this hand here. Abhigya, can you just focus on this here? So these are the metacarpals. What you see here, these are phalanges. These are there are 14 phalanges. So you have distal, middle, and proximal ones. So if you just place your hand here to be a clear picture of it. Yes, this is how it's supposed to be. So let me just remove this and show you the skeleton. So this is how it's going to be, and these are called carpals. They're small, irregularly shaped bones, and these are called metacarpals and phalanges. They are long bones, miniature varieties of long bones, like the femur we have it. So these are miniature varieties of such long bones. Now we have the thumb also included here. So each finger is special in its own way. Let me explain each one of these bones. This is the distal phalange ring, and there are 4 distal phalanges. This is the distal phalanx of the thumb. So phalanx is singular, whereas phalanges is plural. So the thumb has only one distal phalanx and and the rest of them have distal phalanges, middle phalanges, and proximal phalanges. Whereas the thumb has distal phalange. Whereas the thumb has distal phalanx and a proximal phalanx, but doesn't have a middle phalanx. So that's how the thumb is. And let me show you these carpal bones. So these carpal bones are hamate, capitate, trapezoid, trapezium, carpals. These are all carpals, and this is lunate, scaphoid, triquetral, and pisiform. So these are the different bones that we can see here. And next we shall see each one of these bones. Pisiform is one of these bones, which is a sesamoid bone. The meaning of a sesamoid bone is that it develops in the tendon of a muscle. So tendon that is the sponsor for pisiform bone is flexor carpi ulnaris. So that is what gives rise to pisiform, and it's P-shaped, somewhat P-shaped bone. Its dorsal aspect has a single facet for articulation with the triquetral bone. So you have the triquetral bone here and the pisiform bone here. The pisiform articulates with the triquetral. It has a single facet for that. And next we shall see the triquetral bone, which is going in the clockwise order. And the triquetral bone is small. It's roughly cuboidal, and its palmar aspect bears a discrete oval facet for articulation with the pisiform. So it has an oval facet, whereas that one has just a single facet. So these two articulate with each other, and they are present in this position. This is very small. Triquetral is a very small bone as seen from here. Its palmar aspect. When we say palmar, we mean that we're seeing from the hand. So lunate is another bone. Its palmar surface is larger than the dorsal surface. So what you're seeing here is the palmar surface. This is the dorsal surface, and this is the palmar surface is larger, whereas the dorsal surface looks smaller because there are many other bones covering it. It's a very small surface, and other bones just take over the other area. The scaphoid bone is the next one that we're going to see. It is on this side. We're not going clockwise now, sorry. This is distally and laterally the palmar surface. So distally and laterally, the palmar surface bears a projection. It's called a tubercle. So you can see the tubercle here. Distally and laterally, it bears a tubercle. Trapezium is the next bone. You can see it looks somewhat like this. Trapezium, it has a prominent ridge called the crest. So on its palmar surface has a crest, like prominent ridge. And that's a very important bone. There is a deep groove on the medial side of the crest. So you have a groove there, medial side of the crest. Next, we will have the trapezoid. It's small, irregular, shoe-shaped bone. So you can see its shape is somewhat like a shoe. So its palmar face is smaller than the dorsal surface. Everywhere the palmar face is, in the trapezoid, the palmar face is smaller than the dorsal surface, whereas in the lunate, the palmar face is larger than the dorsal surface. So totally there are 5 distal phalanges, 4 middle phalanges, 5 proximal phalanges, and these bones are exactly 8, these small carpal bones, and there are 5 metacarpals presented for each finger, and the thumb lacks 1 middle phalanx. So this is how it is. So this is the phalanges, 5 plus 5 plus 4. So why we say 5 plus 5 plus 4 is distal are 5, all fingers have distal phalanges, proximal are 5 because all fingers have proximal phalanges, and middle are 4 because there are only very few. I mean, it's only for the rest of the finger. The thumb doesn't have this, so the hand lacks 1 here. So that's why it's 4. And now we shall see the distal phalanx. This is how a normal distal phalanx would look like. Its distal end is its head. So distal is towards the external side of the body, so pointing out, whereas proximal is internally towards the body. Yes.
The middle bones over here.
Yes.
They are 9 in number, no, Bhaiya?
Which one?
The carpals.
The carpals are 9. They are 8 exactly.
Oh.
Can you please tell me why you found 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have exactly 8.
Okay.
So the thumb has only 2 phalanges and the rest have 3. So this is how a distal phalanx looks. Its distal end is its head, so you can see it's somewhat, like tubercle-like thing. And the shaft is relatively small compared to a long bone, but anatomically it's a long bone. And its base is its proximal end. So distal is away from the palm, whereas proximal is towards the palm. Dorsal is the back side of the palm, and palmar surface is front side, the palm. So now, yes.
Did you explain the last 2 carpals?
I just forgot to tell this. I'll just finish this.
Yes.
The middle phalanx is the distal end is the head here. It's somewhat like the normal bones that we find. So the central portion is the shaft, and the base is the proximal end. The distal end, now the same way the proximal phalanx has the distal end has its head, the shaft in the center, and the base has the proximal end. So we have just 2 more bones left in the carpal section, the capitate and the hamate. So this is the head of the capitate. This doesn't look exactly like a head, but anatomically it's described as a head. It bears a rounded head at one end like this, and this hamate, it's a gun-shaped thing like this. So you can see how it looks, and it has a hook-like process attached to its palmar aspect, and its concavity is directed laterally like this. So this is the lateral surface. Now I shall explain the metacarpals. The metacarpals are 5 in number. We have the lateral and medial. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every single finger has a metacarpal, including the thumb. And the thumb has only 3 bones. 1 metacarpal, 1 proximal phalanx, and 1 distal phalanx. So it's omitted. The middle phalanx is omitted. The metacarpal of the little finger is a 5th metacarpal. So how we count it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It starts from the thumb and ends with the little finger. So if you want to explain the number of the metacarpal of the middle finger, we say 3rd metacarpal, or the index finger we say 2nd metacarpal, the thumb we say 1st metacarpal, the ring finger we say 4th metacarpal, and the little finger we say 5th metacarpal. So this is the numbering of the metacarpals. The metacarpals have a distal end, this is called a head, a shaft in the center, and a proximal end, which is called a base. So now is the most interesting topic of our hand, and why do palmists bank on palmistry to explain clients' details and their future. The reason why is astrology is turning into a commercial science nowadays, and people aren't studying it in the actual way, with spirituality, with focus, with concentration, with the study of the scriptures, and with faith and devotion to the science. It is viewed as a commercial science, and this is making it lose its respect, because astrology is a very respectful science, and there is no other science on the earth which can equal the helpfulness and amazing capabilities of this science. But unfortunately, it's been doomed. We have to save it again, because astrology is an amazing science, and every prediction that comes out of astrology, if it is done according to the scriptures, comes true. So there's a very important point, and let me explain the scientific features behind the reason why we use the hand as a very innate detail for explaining things. So I shall make separate videos in palmistry, but here is just an overview with reference to anatomy. We just saw that we have 14 phalanges, 5 metacarpals and 8 carpals. Just add everything, it's 27. So 27 nakshatras coincide with the 27 bones in our hand. The carpals, metacarpals and the phalanges. Again, this would just be named as a coincidence by people, but everything can't be a coincidence. We could have used various other parts which are also used in astrology to detail a person's life, but why the hand is given special importance? Then the leg and the other parts of the body. The hand is very important, and the hand has powers of the 9 planets, and we have various nervous communications in the hand, and we have connections to the brain and different parts. Every part has a connection to the brain. Almost just a few parts, like we don't have nervous connection for some parts, but every part is connected to nerves because we pass information from every side. So basically the hand is an amazing portion of the body. We perform all our activity with it, and most of our activities, whether good or bad, giving birth to good or bad karma, is through our hands, and our hands thereby contain the genetic detail, the astrological DNA of our good or bad actions, and this is what is seen in the hand. Adding up everything comes to 27 bones, and this is an amazing significance. It can be passed off as a coincidence, but it's not like that. We need a lot of study and research before just passing it off as a coincidence. The 9 grahas are placed like this. The little finger contains Mercury, the energies of Mercury. The ring finger contains the energies of the sun, and that's why it is called the ring finger, since it can retain the capabilities of different rings, and especially ones in gold, because gold is the metal of sun and fire, and all those radiations can be retained. They're not electromagnetic radiations or any type of radiations that are seen by the modern instruments, which are not capable enough to send spiritual radiations. So all those are connected to and extended and increased by certain influences in the hand. And the finger of Saturn, the finger of negativity, if not, again, people might take me negative for this, but it's not like that. This is the feeling of negativity. This is the finger of negativity if not considered positive. If it is enhanced, it becomes the best finger. Like for example, if we enhance it with special rings that are perfect for it, like Saturn's rings and gems, then it becomes a positive finger. But this is generally the finger of negativity, and that's why all mountains are tall. So all troubles are tall. So that's why the middle finger is the tallest. Jupiter is the most beneficent of all planets, and that's why he gets the place of the index finger. The index finger is the one to point at things, and this gives us the most of focus and coordination, and this gives us the the focus to point, like which is right and which is wrong. So that's why this index finger belongs to Jupiter. And I'm just giving you an overview. There's a lot of more detail and science in this topic. So Venus is the finger of all types of enjoyment, etc., and vehicles and vehicle enjoyment, and buying spree, all of that stuff. And food is also seen from this finger. It's called the Yavarekha at the below the down portion. So all of that is also seen through this. Moon is present in this area, the left side of our right hand and the right side of our left hand. So why the moon has been given the left side of the right hand, which is most important, is that it develops the most soft feminine tendencies of a human. So this all comes from the moon, and the right side of the right hand, this shows the Martian power in a human. This shows the how to call that, a violent, negatively violent and positively and a positively protecting force that comes from Martian tendencies that comes here, and the heart is also signified, and life force, etc., signified here. So that's why the hand is just an amazing thing. 12 rashis are present in the hand. This I should explain in another video. All the 12 rashis have been encoded in the hand, and this requires a lot of research and study before coming to a conclusion that palmistry, astrology, etc. are just subjects to be passed away, because they're extremely scientific and a detailed study is necessary before just calling a guessing game, as some people call it. So I just needed to tell you about this, and thank you. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha, and hope this video is informative.